Hi everybody, this is Mark at Mid-Valley Greenhouse. I've been asked multiple times about planting a potato. Potatoes go out in the garden. Yeah, people put them in containers, sometimes they do put them in tires, do all this stuff. My dad tried different ways of growing potatoes under straw, and we've seen a lot of different ways to do this. The most economical way to grow a potato is in your garden dirt. It's really very simple to do. So what I'm going to do, you're going to use your imagination just a little bit here, but I'll guide you through this. But I'm going to show you first how to deal with your bag of seed potato that you bought. You do not use potatoes from the store. They could have a disease on them. They are not certified, and I'm not sure, but it may be illegal even to use them. So, and it's for a good reason. Once some diseases get in your garden of potatoes, it's there for a long time. It's very difficult to get rid of. I'm not an expert on that, so we're not going to pretend to be, but they do that stuff for a reason. So anyway, I'm going to move closely. And if we look at the potato, there's several eyes on this. Every one of these is an opportunity to grow a plant. We're not going to just plant this whole potato. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut each eye off and leaving a chunk of potato. And we cut this one like that. And this is how I did it. I mean, people are going to have their own ways of doing this. Since I was a little kid, we put away potatoes, and we always got lots of potatoes, or enough potatoes, so it works. If someone has a better idea, that's great. So what we do is we cut it. Some people let it set for a day so the wound seals and you have less rot in the ground. It makes sense. A lot of times I just cut them and plant them and it still works. But the best way I think is to let them set and seal. So now we've made a shallow trench here. Now the garden's really wet right now. It's not prepared. It is not time to plant potatoes. It's muddy still, but we want to get this over with, so we're going to do the best we can. But you make a shallow trench. And I'm going to take my 832/16 slow release, and I'm going to sprinkle it down the row. Then you're going to take the handle of your garden hoe or whatever and just go like that and mill it into the dirt. Okay? So when we plant our potatoes, we're going to put the eye facing upwards and set it in your shallow trench. I put mine about a foot apart or so. If you're got a kid with a big foot, have him step them off. That's what my dad used to do. So, something like this. There's a bunch of ways to, this is just, it works. There's probably better ways or whatever, but this is simple and it works. So what we're going to do now is pull just a little bit of dirt over the potatoes. Not too much, an inch or two. It's fine. You want enough to where it doesn't dry out real fast. And kind of level the top, so if it rains, it catches a little water. But you want them buried, okay? Not too deep. So now, a couple weeks go by. And over here, we're going to pretend a couple weeks just went by, and your little potato is going to come up in that trench. And you can do this when it's even smaller than this. But we're going to pull some dirt up around that again. We're going to start making a little mound, and we're going to bury part of that. Like I said, the garden's really muddy right now. We can make a point, if anything. So we're going to pull that up pretty high on the plant. You could even bury the tip a little bit. So then it's going to start looking something like that, and you're going to have your whole row. You're going to do this, okay? So a couple more weeks go by, and you're going to have a potato growing out of your hill that you made a couple weeks earlier, and we're going to bury it again. Just going to keep pulling that up, and now we're going to start widening the base of your hill a little bit. Nice and fat. This is really hard to rake right here, so we're going to pretend, but you want a nice wide hill. Flatten the top just a little bit so it catches rainwater. And sometime in July, middle of July, at the end of July, you can put a little bit more 832/16 along the edges of your hill and kind of knead it in with your rake or your fingers, and keep them watered. You can water them daily. If it's raining a lot, you don't have to water them all the time, but you don't want them to dry out. keep them watered. And when the vines die back after the first frost, you should have some potatoes under there. And you can dig them out before then. Just dig into the side of the hill, and you know, you can pull a few out. But wait till the vines die off. Then they're probably done growing. So there you go, Mark's not so expert potato advice, but it works. So simple, saves you a bunch of money. You don't have to do anything fancy. You should get potatoes. Thank you.